I'm making a short video on my snowblower. It's a Craftsman, but I guess it's made by MTD. They have their own version, different versions. Yardman I've read. Anyway, I'm going to show you I had to replace the transmission, or I need to. I'll show you what's going on there. Let me flip this around. So this is my snowblower. As you can see, it's a 22-inch. Supposed to be pretty good snowblowers, I guess. But they were a little overpriced. I guess they were like $500, $700. Anyway, a couple issues mine has. One is that cable you see laying on the ground is stretched out and broken. And it probably stretched out and broke because the transmission went and they just kept pulling on it. So I pulled the transmission out. I'll post another video on that, but this is the transmission. Back this camera out. Oops, let's go the other way. So we're not quite so close. There's the problem with the transmission. They put a brass gear inside of it, and that connects to that steel gear, and steel's harder than brass, so it just wore it out. You can see all the brass coloring. That's all the filings, that almost like gold dust, I guess, that's worn off. So I've been trying to take it apart, and I just don't see how it comes apart. I don't know if they have so much sealant on here that it's just holding that in there, or if there's a way to somehow take this apart. I'm just going to go ahead and order a new one, because I think with all these brass filings inside of all the bearings in here and here and here, that it probably will fail again anyway. I was wondering about this gear because it just kind of seems like it's freewheeling, but I figured out when you pull on the lever on the snowblower to engage the traction, it flips this lever over here, which engages this, and that in turn puts pressure. See if you can see everything moving here. Kind of hard to do, but it moves everything over and puts tension on this brass gear. Sign of a clutch, I guess. So there, when you get it over there, it's now kind of solid, so this would turn. This gear, which in turn turns the back wheels, the axle, or vice versa, whatever. I guess this is the back. This is the back axle where your wheels go. And this has a pulley around it, if I remember right. Runs off the motor, so that thing's spinning all the time. This is spinning all the time. When you engage it, it engages this brass gear. But I tried pounding on this thing on the table a little bit. I really don't want to completely break it, but I guess it doesn't matter at this point because it's worthless. But that's the problem. They should have made this gear out of steel, the same hardness as this gear, and I would think they would just wear down evenly. Maybe they did it for some reason to, I don't know, keep it from breaking stuff, but all it did was wear out the brass gear, and now the whole transmission, which is about $150, is worthless. So it's kind of a poor design if you ask me. Take this apart. It should have like 8 screws on it. Mine only had 6, so I think somebody probably worked on it already. I don't know for sure. And then there's a spring and a couple of nuts that hold the pulleys on and stuff. Anyway, to get this apart, I had to run around it with this razor knife because all this goop they put on there, kind of a gasket maker, it's really got suction to it. It's sealed good, so I ran my razor blade all the way around it, and then I pried a couple screwdrivers in there, and I got it pried loose so I could see inside of it. And it is a sealed unit, and it has oil in it, so I guess the guy somehow, if you could rebuild it, just fill the bottom up with oil and at least add a ½ inch or so it has some lubrication. But in this case, I just don't think there's any rebuilding it. I sent a message to a company that sells these Chalmers Industries, I think it is. And they told me this, let me see, where's the original part number? I'll show that to you. Oh, well, I guess not, because I cleaned this with brake cleaner and it wiped off the number. Anyway, you can see it on yours. Anyway, there was one that ended with an A, and that was replaced by one that ended with a B, and the first numbers were 618. And then that was replaced by a 918A and then a 918B, which is the latest. I have no idea if it's got brass gears or metal gear, steel gears to make it last longer or not. And the videos I've watched, nobody wants to take the brand new one apart to see what it's made of inside, so guess a guy could do that if he wanted to waste $150. Or try to figure out how to get it back together. I sent the guy a message and asked him if there's any way to rebuild these. I'm waiting for a reply. But he did tell me that all these with the different serial numbers are all the same. It's just upgraded. If they're going to upgrade them, you would think they would improve them. Anyway, sorry to keep rambling, but if you have one of these snow blowers and it quits going forward, it's possible. It could be that cable stretched out. It could be that your belt is stretched out that's underneath. Either the belt stretched out or broke, so check those things. But you see this lever, when it's all put back together, you can see this lever on the outside, and that engages your transmission. If you can push that up manually and your transmission still doesn't go, it probably needs replaced. I think about the cheapest one I found so far is Amazon, but do your due diligence and check around the internet. You never know. I wouldn't buy a used one because you're going to have the same problem, only faster. Hey, thanks for watching.